You know, you're a mortician and you're practicing your talent, and then suddenly every day you're like, I gotta get down to the radio station to sing the Wheaties song again.
When you saw the word jingles in the title of this episode, I bet at least one cheesy tune rose from the recesses of your mind, brought you back to a carpeted room where you sat too close to the TV, products flashing and glowing in commercials you saw 100 different times. Depending on your age, these bite-sized earworms of catchy capitalism may feel like an invention of the 90s, of the 80s, of the 70s, of the 60s. But in reality, musical, lyrical advertisements have a much longer history than I ever expected. For part one of this two-part series, I share with Sarah Marshall of You're Wrong About the goofy evolution of the jingle, from its far-flung, distant origins into the jaunty age of American radio. For part two, we'll explore the stories behind some of the most memorable TV jingles of all time, ones that will probably continue to live inside all our heads until the day we finally leave this earthly plane behind. I'm your host, Chelsey Weber-Smith, and this is American Hysteria. Sarah Marshall, I would love if you would kick this episode off with performing a favorite jingle. What do you say?
How come you're so nice to me? Okay, I will.
Hit it, baby.
Okay, there can only be one answer. I have a structured settlement and I need cash now. Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. Huh?
JG. Hit us up. No, that was an incredible performance. A lot of vibrato there. I really
Thank you.
enjoyed. J.G. Wentworth. We all remember it.
Well, I throw a lot of vibrato in and hope for the best. Just like, you know, when you're cooking and you're like, I don't know, you just kind of add in butter and you're like, that'll probably take care of it. That's my view of it.
I agree. I think that you're right on the money.
Just like Dean Martin. Yeah. Do you know that jingle? That's like an iconic commercial.
I do know that jingle, of course. And we will be visiting some of the ads that you sent to me. I asked for some of your favorite jingles, so we're going to get to those.
That is the fastest I've ever texted you. You have to admit, right? I was ready. I sent you like 8 things within 5 minutes. I had no idea how prepared I was for that.
Yeah, your phone was on fire.
Yeah. And meanwhile, if you're like, Sarah, what's a good book you read lately? I'm like, pass.
No, this is going to be a fun one, I think, for us and for our listeners.
Been using my brain wisely. Yeah.
So, yeah. If you haven't figured it out, geniuses, we're talking about the American art form known as the jingle.
I'm so excited.
It's going to be a 2-part episode. We're going back to the even farther than the 1800s, but 1800s into the present day. And
good.
Yeah, I've been working real hard on this one along with our research assistant, Riley. So
hi, Riley.
We're going to blast off. I would love to start with just talking about some of our favorite jingles to really get in the mood.
Absolutely.
Tell me, Sarah, as a Northwesterner, if you remember this one. This is like pretty hyper local. I can't really tell like how far this spread, but this is one of my favorite jingles. It was performed by the Abbey Carpet Girls. Do you remember these girls?
I don't think so. Well, maybe. Play it for me. As I'm saying, I'm like, yeah, let's go.
All right. So this is the Abbey Carpet Girls, who were 3 sisters who became the voices of the Abbey Carpet Northwest conglomerate.
Okay. I'm so excited.
Abbey Carpet Stores, no better place to buy your floors. You'll love Abbey Carpet and Floor.
If you're out there, Abbey Carpet Girls, you have a fan in me. Another, like a couple more I love was, do you remember Don't Wake Daddy, the game?
Oh my God, yes. Don't Wake Daddy was such an odd concept.
Do you want to explain Don't Wake Daddy?
Well, I never played it, but it's based on the commercials, which also like 90s toy commercials are like their own area.
They are.
Which, have you done an episode on that?
No, but this has inspired me to perhaps revisit it in the future.
Right, because I feel like they would always have like kids sort of like playing with a fairly boring toy in a way that implied that it was like extreme kind of a thing.
Yeah, there were like explosions and,
you know, and they always had these intense backdrops. And if it was an action figure, they'd be like moving it through like an elaborate like swamp, you know, environment.
Yes,
and then it would be like swamp not included.
Yes,
and you're like, ah,
exactly.
You know,
perfect description. Yeah, but the Don't Wake Daddy would be like, you would be like sneaking through the board game. I never played it either.
Right. And there's like a plastic daddy that like sits up if you do something wrong because he's sleeping in the living room. But why? Well, because he's in a hospital bed and he's dying, maybe. That's it. I made that up, but wouldn't that be something?
But if you like trigger the mechanism, like you said, like the toy like shoots up and his little sleep hat, you know, his very like Geppetto-esque sleep hat flies off.
Yeah, Ebenezer Scrooge. Wow.
And it says, "Don't wake Daddy."
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Oh my God. The 90s, there were a lot of jingles, weren't they? There was a lot of like potential for echolalia.
Yeah, we'll learn more about that in part 2 as well.
Okay.
Do you have any more jingles you'd like to bring up before we continue on?
I don't know. Just I I was just watching the episode of The Office where Andy can't remember the ending of the Kit Kat jingle.
Oh, that's so good.
That's what comes to mind. And I feel like that's like one of the most iconic jingles, right? Which is, of course.
Would you do it for us?
Should we do it together?
We can try on this Zoom recording. Okay.
Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat
bar. We did it at different
Football
speeds.
Cream. Applesauce. Chrysler car.
Break me off a piece of that. What's the cat food when he does?
Fancy Feast.
Break me off a piece of that. Fancy Feast. Yeah, that was great.
Nope, it's Football Cream.
Well, I'm sure more will come to mind as we go along.
Yeah, but I guess the point maybe is that like the hallmark of a good jingle is that you find yourself singing it to yourself at all hours of the day and thereby advertising something to yourself within your very subconscious. And that is kind of a fascinating thing when you think about it.
It really is. They say that the hallmarks of the perfect jingle: infectious melody. You got to get the name of the brand in there, right? That's very important for recognition. Maybe a call to action and then a slogan. So if you can get all that in there,
great,
then you have yourself a winner.
Yep.
But Sarah, what if I told you that jingles were as old as the ancient Greeks?
I guess I did. Like, I had no idea. I would tell you I had no idea, but also I am not surprised because knowing the ancient Greeks to the limited extent that I do, I'm like, yeah, of course you guys had jingles. It feels like ancient Greek kind of lived basically the way we live now, where they just kind of like got takeout and went to see plays and, you know, wrote about how annoyed they were by their fellow gays.
Exactly. Oh my God. The discourse.
The discourse. Yeah.
Ancient Greek discourse must have been annoying.
I've been spending so much time trying to get back to that.
Okay, Sarah, I would love if you'd be willing to read this translated example that comes from an Athenian advertiser.
Yes, I would love to. Okay.
I did a little phonetic pronunciation at the bottom for the word.
Thank you. I'm going to read that as written.
And if you'd like to sing it, you're welcome to. If not, you know, you can read it as a poem. Up to you.
I can never think of imaginary melodies for things. This is a problem. I think this is why I haven't read The Lord of the Rings.
That's the reason?
Because in the first book, so much of it is, because they're singing so much. And I just kind of like can't make up a melody for myself. So it's so boring. I think that if I could think of something, it's not my fault. It's not my fault I haven't read The Lord of the Rings. Leave me alone.
Sarah, you know I haven't read The Lord of the Rings.
I know.
And why is that?
No castles, no dragons. No high fantasy for Chelsey Weber Smith.
No way. All All right. Well, then please read it in verse, if you will.
Okay, I shall. For eyes that are shining, for cheeks like the dawn, for beauty that lasts after girlhood is gone, for prices and reason, the woman who knows will buy her cosmetics of Ecliptos.
Very good.
That's so good.
I know. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's exactly the same as something that we would see in like the 60s. It's incredible, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was like the earliest example. If we skip ahead to like the Middle Ages, we start to hear street cries, right? Which are basically slogans that itinerant merchants would like shout out as they walked along the cobblestones in Europe. And they would actually be notated in sheet music as well, which was really interesting. I know.
By who? Do we know?
I think the merchants themselves, like as like a little advertisement, essentially.
I love that.
So in France, in that time period and later, they would call out fresh strawberries, nice blackberries.
Incredible.
I'm trying to think of a melody for that. Fresh strawberries, nice blackberries. I don't know, something like that.
That's beautiful. That does sound very like 60s. Well, of course, I'm thinking of the famous "Who Will Buy This Wonderful Morning" in Oliver! ! The musical.
Oh, can you sing that for us?
Yeah, because it opens. Remember, Oliver ends up in a rich guy's house somehow. I forget some of the details there. It's like something you tend to watch when you're like 8 years old. So like, you know, some of that stuff. And sometimes your choir teacher fast forwards through parts of it as well, because you only have so much time, even in a double period. But so he wakes up and he hears all the street vendors, you know, doing their kind of like hawking their wares. And also that, you know, the Molly Malone song brings this up too. So it's like something that it feels like survives in these threads that we have. But he hears vendors singing, ripe, strawberry ripe, you know?
Yeah.
Just like what they're selling in an adjective about it.
Yeah. And that's going to remind you of our next example that came from England in the 1600s, and it was created to sell a particular confection on Good Friday. It's a song still very popular in elementary school music classes, perhaps played uponst the recorder. Yep. Sarah, any guesses?
Oh my, I know I know this in my bones, and it's hot cross buns. Which is also the opening of Three Blind Mice, I think. Right?
Yeah, it's the same.
With hot cross buns, and then you build on it and you have a Three Blind Mice. But of course, I remember the sound of that as like 20 elementary students playing that on recorders, like blowing as hard as they physically can.
You know what's so wild is that I really truly think if you handed me a recorder right now, one try, I could still play hot cross buns. That's how much they drilled it into us.
I think you could. Also, you're very dexterous. You're the only person I know who ever got to the end of the Simon.
It's not the Simon, Sarah. You're spreading misinformation. Maybe even disinformation. I don't know what you're fucking saying this for.
What was it?
Bop it, baby.
Pardonnez-moi. Okay, but tell us about that.
Well, I mean, most of you probably don't know this. I'd love to know the exact number of you listeners that know this, but if you get, I think it's 200 on Bop It, it stops and throws you a party, and that's it. You can't go any higher, which is really satisfying on one hand, but on the other hand, you'll never know the number you could have gotten if it hadn't stopped you for such a frivolous party. Yeah.
It's your Puritan work ethic shining through.
Yeah, there it is, showing up. So, all right. Moving along here nicely. So.
They took up valuable room on that memory card for a frivolous party.
But not for me to truly know my skill level. Okay. So by the time the Industrial Revolution in the United States created mass production, American workers kind of, as we know, moved from being producers into consumers. And so these ideas we had before, thrift, sacrifice, hyperlocal consumption.
And look at us now. None of us know how to make anything.
Nothing.
That's not true. A lot of people know how to make a lot of things.
You're kind of a prairie gal. You're growing corn. You're making bread and shit.
In my teeny little ways, yeah. But in terms of like, I don't know. Look, I love modern technology. Please don't drink raw milk. Like I think that you can be crunchy to a safe degree. And one where you like get all your vaccinations and get your kid vaccinated for the love of God and all that other nice stuff.
Yes.
But just the fact that we live lives where we do have there is so much safety in our lives that we wouldn't have had without these scientific advancements, obviously. I think the issue is not with science, but with industrialization.
Yes.
And also that the consumer technology we use is designed to break pretty frequently and to be hostile to our attempts to fix it, even if we knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
And so that feeling of helplessness around the technologies we rely on in our homes, I think, is the scary thing.
I agree. I totally agree. And yet I do nothing about it. I can't do shit.
You can do lots of stuff. You go in caves.
Yeah, I guess I do go in caves. A really helpful part of the future apocalypse.
Like you're going to help us survive on deer and nuts and berries eventually.
Yeah, and I'll kickflip and grind my tech deck across the horns of my latest kill.
Like if there's one thing we learned from Wicked, it's that, when you're fighting fascism, you have to do a sick kickflip sometimes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so because of this industrial revolution, the, local goods we talked about started to disappear, and they were replaced by this mass-produced brands. Wages went up. We had more leisure time. Automation meant that we could focus on products that, crossed the country when before it had been like, go to your local shop and that's all you got.
I feel like this is why the kind of running joke in so much old media is that people are using the Sears catalog as toilet paper because everyone had it and there were a billion things in it.
Yeah, they were great.
And they had no toilet paper.
No. That was true. Okay, so in order to sell these products, they had to make them attractive, right? They had to create some form of advertising. So brands started to figure out how to attract that kind of attention. The earliest American ancestor to the jingle that came before radio and TV, before even like the audio medium that we know today, brands created printed advertising that used rhyming poems as ads, and those were printed in the newspaper. So we didn't have a melody quite yet, but it felt like, we should visit these poems that inspired what would become the jingle later on.
Yeah.
So I have something for you to read, Sarah. This is an early example of one of these, what they called verses at that time, that was published in 1876 from the Sapolio soap brand, which I'd never heard of, but was like a big fucking deal at one point.
Okay.
All right. Can you read that for us?
Okay. One Sabbath morn as heavenward, white mountain tourists slowly spurred. On every rock, to their dismay, they read that legend, always, Sapolio. What?
It's not great.
Well,
but I do like the religious undertones there.
This is like this, right? I mean, yeah, they tried. Okay. So
they tried.
What does it mean, Chelsey?
What does it mean? I mean, I guess it just means like that our product is, I don't know. On Southbourne to Southbourne, way on tour slowly spurred to, on every rock to there's a, I don't fucking know what that means. I didn't actually spend any time with the words.
Does this mean that souls are going to heaven and they're seeing an ad for Sapolio?
I mean, it kind of does. The heavenward white mountains. I don't know.
You know what? This is why literature is so complex.
Yeah.
There's a lot of possible meaning here, like with Ezra Pound or somebody.
Yes, which is really, really odd for a soap brand.
Right. You don't want this much ambiguity.
No.
Yeah. There's no call to action. That's their first problem.
There sure isn't, unless the call to action is die and ascend.
Die and go to heaven.
But make sure you're clean for God.
And even then you can't escape Sapolio, possibly. Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. Okay. Well, I good try. I'm excited to see the art form develop.
What can you do? You just have to go on here. So Sapolio, there's more.
Oh boy.
put out another ad campaign in 1899, and that was called Spotless Town. Okay.
Okay, that's pretty cute.
It is. And so this whole kind of ad campaign included images and verses. And it kind of like the way I'm going to put it is like it was like this medieval busy world of Richard Scarry, where it was like the bustling town.
I want that more than anything. I mean, I'm excited about this era for Sapolio for sure. Obviously, we all love Sapolio.
Yeah.
But also, wouldn't you love maybe if there is a book like this, please recommend it, where it's like it is like Busy Town, but just for a medieval town, and you see everything in the different roles and how they work, and maybe there's a worm.
I mean, there's no worm, which is sad because I feel like my gender is best represented by Lowly Worm, who was my favorite character as a child.
You are a lowly worm.
I am. I'm a worm in a baseball hat.
And lowly worm surely is a non-binary citizen of Busy Town, right?
Big time. The non-binary citizen.
Yeah, look at them. Just look at them.
Driving around in their little, like...
Their friggin' Apple car.
Hybrid car.
That is a hybrid car. Oh,
it is.
Oh, no. Wow. That's very important.
All right. Yeah. So... Spotless Town did not include any little animal characters, but it did kind of give different characters and verses about them. So this whole town was, you know, as you might guess, like this clean, pristine town that only existed because of the power of Sapolio. And the verses that accompanied each ad were like so beloved that people waited for the next installment. Like it was a novel printed in the New Yorker, right? It's like you're waiting for the next chapter.
Or the way we felt in the 90s about the dude you're getting a Dell guy.
What was that?
That was the Dell commercials.
Oh,
where
yeah.
They had the Jesse Pinkman-esque character who go, dude, you're getting a Dell.
That was good. That was a good one.
Yeah. Thank you.
More after this. And now back to the show. Okay, so these were like so popular that Spotless Town became a slang term that stood in for the words like cleanliness, order, and perfection.
Oh my God. Spotless Town.
Which I like to think they were like, babe, you're spotless town today. I don't actually know how they would use it like in a sentence, but
I don't know. I like that.
Okay. If you refer back to the document, Sarah, you'll see a advertisement for Sapolio in their Spotless Town style. And I would love if you read it.
All I can say is get me some Sapolio. I got to try it out. Okay.
And if you could describe what you see, yes.
Yeah, we have a Richard II looking bloke, I would say. And the poem is, "This is the mayor of Spotless Town, the brightest man for miles around. The shining light of wisdom can reflect from such a polished man. And so he says to high and low, the brightest use Sapolio." And Sapolio's in huge letters. I'm good. Sold. Get me some Sapolio.
I know. I feel like branded merch would have done really well of Spotless Town. Yeah. Maybe that should be something we look into.
I like it. I'd wear it.
Hey, we'll talk about it. So Spotless Town, as I mentioned, became a massive campaign that people loved outside of it being like a branded thing. So Sapolio created a booklet that had all of the jingles in verse, and they distributed 1 million copies of this pamphlet all over the United States.
So here's the thing. Part of me is like, how ridiculous, the people of history times, blah, blah, blah. But then immediately my next thought is when I was a kid, I had a not inexpensive book of got milk ads that I loved and spent hours looking at. So
Well, that's because Annie Leibovitz is a genius.
That's true. And also, I should say, because someone is going to be like, Sarah, I know that there was a Got Milk campaign and a separate campaign that was just the word milk. And I don't remember who was responsible for each of them or how that all happened. But just to say that sure did happen. And that's kind of amazing as well. But yes, we loved those ads. It was celebrities with milk mustaches. And they were so great.
They were so good. And I mean, was like a propaganda campaign that we talk about in our episode called Got Milk from 1,000 years ago. So if you'd like to learn more.
Oh, that's right. You did do the milk. Wait, do you remember how we got 2 different milk campaigns?
I don't remember.
Okay, but we sure did. There was a lot of milk.
We sure
did.
They
had a lot of milk to move.
We probably cover
I love milk, but there's a limit.
There's a limit. That is for fucking sure. Okay, so these pamphlets were so popular that a New Yorker article I saw claimed that they were as popular as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, which is unhinged to think about.
It certainly is just as catchy, I would say.
I think so, too. It's got that meter that we need. Okay, so Spotless Town continued in popularity, so much so that they created a stage play about Spotless Town that used the verses and then set some of them to music, which I would consider to be a very early version of the jingle.
Jingle the musical.
There you go. That could be fun. That could be really fun. So there were instructions included in this little kit you could get about how to stage your own play.
Oh, my God.
You know, it would tell you what types of scenery to make, how to design the props.
See, this is why companies are slacking. They're like, why won't you buy our product? We tried making it smaller, making it more expensive, and having leaked audio of our CEO talking about how much he hates poor people. What do you want? It's like, tell us how to make a play about your product, obviously.
Obviously.
Give us the mayor of Tide Town.
And you could get all of this from Sapio for $1. You could send away for the kit.
Sapolio, Chelsey. Get it together.
What did I say?
You said Sapio.
Sapio. Oops.
That sounds like an Italian character in a Shakespeare comedy.
So these were staged all over the country, you know, in like little theaters that wanted to do it.
Oh my God. The Sapolio players.
I know.
This is amazing.
I know. I love this.
History is such a fun place, aside from all of, you know, the horrors.
The horrors. But there's just as much fun stuff.
The horrors and the needless deaths from, you know, eating cherries on a hot day.
Exactly.
Someone I know is descended from the cherries on a hot day president, Zachary Taylor, and it does make you worry about a person's hardiness.
I don't know anything about cherries on a hot day. I thought that was a Sarah-ism.
No, Zachary Taylor allegedly died from eating cherries on a hot day.
Why?
I don't know.
Hey, the joy can kill.
That's
cherries
true.
On a hot day.
Yeah, don't have too much fun, you guys.
Don't leave your cherries in a hot car. You're not going to have a good time. So, okay. Leaving our dear Sapio Spotless Town behind, what they did give us was this proof of the power of the written jingle in verse for the brand, right? Mm-hmm. So in a similar style in the early 1900s, I just wanted to introduce you to this because I thought you'd really like it. Mm-hmm. It's nothing revolutionary, but it is another kind of character story told in verse to represent a company. And this company was Force Breakfast Cereal, which feels very 90s, right? Like, Force Breakfast Cereal, explode your fucking stomach. But that's not what was happening here. So Force Cereal had a character they created, and his name was Jim Dumps.
Jim Dumps?
He, Sarah, was a gloomy fellow who, upon having a bowl of Force cereal, would transform into Sunny Jim. And I'm guessing that's where Sunny Jim comes from.
Oh, I like that.
That, like, calling people Sunny Jim. I don't know. Maybe that was already a thing and they just used it for the character name.
Well, I feel like it's spelled like C-O or S-O-N-N-Y, right? Like my sunny boy Jim. But also it's like this. Yeah, but this stuff drifts around in our lexicon and gets new, you know, vowels assigned to it. I wouldn't rule it out.
Wouldn't put it past us. So Sunny Jim, as you might imagine, was like the really happy version. I think of the transformation from Jim Dumps to Sunny Jim as the transition of Charlie on Always Sunny turning from Nightman to Dayman.
Yeah. He is a master of karate and friendship for everyone.
He is. So would you like to read the Sunny Jim rhyme for me?
Yeah, and now I have to do it in the style of Dayman, which I feel like is perhaps even
There's
you would
no
not be
other
against that.
way.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Jim Dumps was a most unfriendly man who lived his life on the hermit plan. In his gloomy way, he'd gone through life and made the most of woe and strife.
I'm messing it up.
Till force one day was served to him. Since then, they've called him Sonny Jim.
Incredible work. That was really beautiful.
Force.
It's the funniest thing that maybe has ever been done.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Fighter of the Jim Dumps. Okay.
Good luck, editors, putting that together. Okay. I wanted to show you an image of Jim Dumps, Sonny Jim.
Wow.
Check him out.
So this is nice. I feel like they're kind of advertising the concept of cold cereal at a time when it seems like it would have been like relatively new, you know?
Yes.
And so the poem, we see like an Ichabod Crane looking guy.
He's got kind of a rat tail.
Yeah. He's got like a little squiggly little ponytail and a tiny little top pony and spectacles and tights, I guess, hose. I don't know historical fashion words very well. They're all great ones. But okay, and so the poem is, Jim Dumps exulted, we do not, on summer days so close and hot, build up a fire and stew and steam. A dish of force, a bowl of cream is just the food to fit our whim and keeps us cool, laughed Sonny Jim.
The transformation is complete.
Force, the ready-to-serve cereal, not a blood heater.
That was the main reason that I chose this particular one.
Yeah, I am.
Not a blood heater.
American hysteria, not a blood heater.
We're just pumping out the merch ideas in this episode. It's crazy.
Yeah, we are.
All right. Goodbye, Jim Dumps.
I do love the kind of language people would use about like blood, you know, in like the 19th or kind of like early 20th century. Because there was like a list of like Satchel Hayes, the baseball players, like health tips. And one of them is like, avoid spicy food. It angries up the blood. And then you had Geritol for tired blood. You don't want angry, tired, or hot blood. You want your blood to be cool and fruity.
It's like, not to bring him up, but Trump's been taking like a shit ton of aspirin, like way more than his doctor said is okay.
Oh, yeah. I really loved this quote.
He wants the thinnest blood. And I'm like, go for it.
He doesn't want thick blood pumping through his heart. It's like, okay, have fun.
With your watery blood, which he definitely has.
It's like, everything's fine. I just need hundreds of these.
Yes. Trump, watery blood.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. He's definitely getting an IV infusion.
Exactly. All right. So these ads in verse became super popular. I think this is cute. Procter & Gamble started to create this jingle in verse contest. So people would get to write in with their own jingles. And then every month they would start printing the winning, you know, written jingles, let's say. I just think that would be really fun and nice.
I love that. Yeah. And that's like a fun, it's, I don't know, it's just, and there also, I feel, you know, this was a time when there were a lot of contests that companies ran where, you know, normal people had a pretty good chance of winning some amount of prize money. And they could also think about doing that again. Just a thought, you guys.
Come on. People, things need to change out there.
They do.
I ain't buying shit.
Look, you can't just insult people for struggling. You have to use our suffering to your own advantage and create, you know, contests and sweepstakes to keep people feeling like you're at least on their side.
Exactly. Hand an ICE agent a Pepsi. See what happens.
Oh my God. Get Kylie Jenner on this, or whatever Jenner that was.
Yes.
I can't be expected to.
We don't know.
To remember everything. Yeah.
Not because I am above it, just because it doesn't interest me.
Well, I'm sorry. I have cheese. Excuse me.
This little mouse over here. Nibbling on your fucking cheese.
I'm doing a Gus. But like, two of the Kardashian Jenners are married to men named Travis. I thought there was only one Travis for like years. I can't keep up with them.
Is one of the Travis is the one that fucked up in Astroworld and all those people got trampled?
Yes. And the other one is from Blink 182.
Did you watch that documentary?
No.
What is it?
I should watch it.
Astroworld. It's one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life, actually.
I bet.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, and because that was one where, of course, in the immediate aftermath, people were like, it was Satan. It was sacrifices to Satan. And I was like, boy, it sure sounds like they failed to have the kind of infrastructure they needed for a concert with that many people at it. I mean, is that an accurate assessment?
You're absolutely right. Although I will say, kind of in the way that Woodstock 99 appeared more like a satanic ritual than anything I've ever seen. I will say it was giving a bit of, is this an Illuminati ritual?
Tell me about how it was giving Satan. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like scary looking explosions and just like thousands and thousands of people. And I don't understand how you go to a concert like that and stand at the middle of all those people. Are you just peeing your pants?
I don't understand how you do it if you're not wearing a diaper. Yeah, exactly.
Are you peeing your pants?
Yeah.
Sound off in the comments. Are you peeing your pants at the Travis Scott concert? Okay. On that note, so at the time that this, advertising in verse was happening, there was also a sheet music craze that was going on in the US, which really fun.
God, we can't do anything except in crazes. That's so us.
I know. I love a craze.
We can't just buy sheet music. We have to have a craze about it.
Exactly. We have to make it satanic and have everyone do it. Okay. So there were, at this time, I read that, like, turn of the century time, there were 500,000 people taking piano lessons at one time, which is fun.
Now, Chelsey, I do not expect you to know this, but was the home piano becoming like more affordable as a consumer good at this time? Maybe kind of because of all this mass manufacturing?
I think it has to have been.
Yeah.
I don't know that for sure, but I can't imagine that that's not part of it.
And again, this is just me making a very big guess, but I feel like just looking at kind of media at the time, there were a lot of pianos in the American home kind of all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Pre-Civil War, I don't think a lot of middle class people had pianos, or that we had a middle class, to be honest.
I think that you're absolutely right.
Post-industrial revolution, we invent the middle class for good and for ill.
Right.
Pianos for everyone.
You got a piano. I did a meme. Okay, so
my mom valiantly tried to get me to learn to play piano when I was a kid. It did not work.
Didn't take.
I cannot play the piano. Yeah. It does seem like a good skill, especially if you want to, like, I don't know, it's like an adjunct to getting, because, this thing of like people used to hang out without screens. And it's like, well, yeah, but we did have other forms of technology to lubricate us socially. And the piano was one of them.
Exactly. No, I mean, I can't play the piano for shit. I'm pretty decent at the guitar, but I would never bring that out in a public setting.
But maybe at like a campfire?
You like to do what, wagon wheel?
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right. That's my new goal.
So among these many mass-produced pianos was the sale of mass-produced pamphlets of sheet music.
Love it.
So advertisers realized, like, okay, these pamphlets are selling like hotcakes, and isn't there some great space on the back to advertise our products? Mm-hmm. So they did that, but then they decided that they could go a step further and actually create songs about their products using popular melodies of the time that most people knew.
Perfect.
The whole pamphlet would be an advertisement for the company, which would include like graphic advertisements, but then also a jingle that you could put your own spin on at home.
I love that they're like, come on, Americans, play jingles on your own piano. And we were like, hot dog. Yes, I will.
Sounds great.
Frankfurter. Yes, I will. I guess we weren't saying hot dog yet.
So one example that I thought was particularly noteworthy was for a pest control product called Rough on Rats. And this came out in the 1880s.
Which I believe was used in a lot of husband murders around this time.
Oh, of course it was. That was probably the primary thing that it was used for. It used the tune to Little Old Jug, which I didn't know I listened to. Mm-hmm. But when you're ready, please either read or perform whatever you want to do. This Rough on Rats jingle.
Squalling children, scolding wife, were not the pest of my poor life. Wherever I lived in house or flats, my plague has been those horrid rats. They ate our meat, our bread and shoes. We could not have a quiet snooze. One day my wife took chance to doze. They pinned my baby They pinned my baby by the nose. Rats, 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 rough on rats. Hang your dogs and drown your cats. Oh my God.
I
know. No. We give a plan for every man to clear his house with rough on rats. Honestly, it's a banger. I hate to say it.
I know. It's unhinged. It's like, it starts with some like really like Family Annihilator stuff where he's like squalling children, scolding wife.
Rough on rats. Kill them all. And
kill them all. Kill your dogs, kill your cats, kill your wife, kill your children. Horrid rats.
But it is nice that the American woman got to have a household poison. So, you know, imagine, I don't know, I want to imagine like a late 19th century like costume drama murder mystery where there's like a raucous sing-along of rough on rats and then the wife starts to get to thinking.
That would be really cool.
Kill your husband, rough on rats.
Oh, and yeah, the song.
Rats, 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 kill the rat. Rats, 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 rats. Don't worry, I really like rats.
This is good. I feel like maybe Rough on Rats is also merch. I don't know. Lowly worm.
Yeah.
Rough rats.
It's, look, you just throw it all in the hat.
You know, see what sticks.
Merch hat.
So along with your Rough on Rats sheet music and lyrics, the back of these pamphlets would have ads for more of this company's products, which included such things as Wells Throat and Lung Balsam.
No.
Chopin's Buco Palala. I don't know. It's their kidney. Chopin's kidney and urinary cure. And Wells Health Remover. But most importantly, Mother Swan's worm syrup.
Now, is that syrup made of worms or syrup for a worm?
It is syrup to get rid of the worms within your constitution.
Okay. It's not for when you have a little worm to take care of.
No, that would be nice, though.
That would be nice.
Just like a little dropper with some syrup.
A little worm with a little quilt, you know.
Do you think the worm is Lowly Worm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a little thermometer in his mouth and he's watching Ricky Lake.
There we go. That's it. That's the one. Okay, so advertisers soon began commissioning songs in styles that were popular at the time. So they were longer than the jingles that we know today. They were kind of like full songs. Part of the appeal was that they were trying to be a little more subtle with their advertising, kind of like marrying the product with something that people would actually enjoy, which had already happened with Spotless Town. But in terms of actual like audio ads, this is when this really starts. So one of the first ones came in 1904, and it was for Anheuser-Busch beer. And it was created in the style of a song that had recently become a hit. It was a beer garden song, which I didn't know there was a genre called beer garden song. That's fun.
More culture we've lost. Yeah.
I know. And it was called Down Where the Wurzburger Flows.
Incredible.
I know. So their version, they called it Under the Anheuser-Busch, which is pretty cute and clever. So if you see the link there, Sarah, we can listen together.
Under the Anheuser-Busch, sung by Billy Murray, Edison Record. Talk about the shade of the sheltering palms. Praise the bamboo tree with its wide spreading charms. There's a little bush that grows right here in town. You know its name, it has one such renown. Often with my sweetheart just after the play, to this little place then my footsteps will stray. If she hesitates when she looks at the sign, softly I whisper, now Sue, don't decline. Come, come, come and make skies with me under the Anheuser-Busch. Come, come, drink some Budweiser with me under the Anheuser-Busch. Hear the old German band.
Okay, I think that's good. Thank you. You get the idea.
I love it. I gotta say. Also, we need more beer gardens.
Yeah, no, I love a beer garden and I will always run right to them. I like a wine garden because I'm a wine guy.
Yeah. Why would I drink beer in anything but a garden, honestly, if I have the opportunity?
Usually they have both. Yeah. All right. So there was another one in 1905 that became really popular. That one was called In My Merry Oldsmobile.
Oh, my God.
I know. Really sweet.
I would call it Merry Oldsmobile England.
What's that?
I would call it Merry Oldsmobile England, like Merry Old England.
Oh, smart. Took me a minute, so I don't know if it's going to work. You want immediate recognition.
That's true.
So this one took this like connection between popular culture and advertising even further because they actually used a song that was really popular in the time that was called In My Merry Oldsmobile. So it was one of those situations like the Walker Hayes song about Applebee's. You know that one?
Oh, yeah. Fancy Like. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fancy Like. Fantastic song. I also truly do love Walker Hayes. I'll say it.
Fancy Like Applebee's on a date night.
Yeah, exactly.
You're willing to say the most important things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think it was kind of that situation where he didn't write that song for the company.
Yeah.
But I imagine Applebee's, I don't actually know, but it would have been smart of them to use that song.
To embrace
yes.
it. Right. And also, like, sometimes you're relevant in culture in a way that, like, you would have hoped for as a company. And sometimes companies don't embrace that because they're dumb.
They're dumb. You know, or maybe they were just like, we don't have to buy this shit. It's already working.
Right. Yeah. That's also, but also, you know, sometimes they'll be like, no, don't name us, even though you're making us look good.
Yeah.
Or relevant.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
More after this. And now back to the show. So now we're transitioning into the time when radio became popular.
Woohoo.
And people in America were having radios actually in their homes.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm sure had to have been kind of a blow for the piano teachers of the world.
Oh, I'm sure. And the people who like to perform at parties.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Terrible time for us.
Dead meat. You know, by the late 20s, there were about 12 million radio sets in use across the nation. So that's a lot.
Wow.
So, of course, companies saw the potential, just like they did with the sheet music craze.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to tell you one story about what is considered the first jingle as we know it. Okay.
Yeah.
So in 1921, a clumsy clinician at the Minnesota Washburn Crosby Company, which made bags of flour only. That was their only thing. Okay.
Have you seen the episode of The Simpsons where they go to the box factory?
Yes, of course, for their field trip.
This is making me think of that. Yeah. Yep. And Bart or Milhouse is like, do you ever make anything else? And he's like, no, only boxes.
And I like,
no, only flour.
And it's like, at the time I was a kid, I was like, oh God, a box factory. And now I'm like, I'll go to the box factory. I'd love to learn about how boxes are made.
Or at least, you know, have some edibles and watch an hour-long video of boxes being made, which might be better because you're away from all the dangerous box making equipment.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood effect where you just watch crayons be made.
No, that has never happened. Yeah, exactly. But only orange ones.
Okay, so our clumsy clinician is working on flour and he spills a bunch of wheat bran onto a hot stove. They get all,
oh my God.
They get all crispy. And he goes,
no.
I think we have something here. So he works on this for 5 years for some reason, trying to perfect the texture.
Good for him.
And so Washburn's gold medal whole wheat flakes were born, which were soon, thankfully, renamed Sarah. Any guesses?
Wow, that's a terrible name for a cereal. Okay, so it's crispy wheat. It's wheat that got crispy.
Right. Wheat might be a key part of this. Did I give it away?
Why can't I? No, I'm trying. Is it? I'm trying. Oh, is it? No, it's not cream of wheat. That's the opposite. Oh my God.
Oh, I love cream of wheat.
I do too. Cream of wheat is incredible. Cream of rice as well. Also grits. Really, I love all mushes, which is probably why I'm struggling here.
It's not a mush.
It's not Raisin Bran because we haven't talked about raisins.
No. Remember, the word wheat is key. You're going to get there. Wheat, Sarah. Wheat. Extend that word.
Wheat bran. Weetabix. Is it Weetabix?
No. Wheaties.
Wheaties. Wow.
Wheaties.
Yeah, Wheaties are good.
You know, I don't know if I've ever had Wheaties in my entire life.
I've had Wheaties because sometimes I buy the Olympian commemorative box and then I have to eat the Wheaties inside to put the box up as decoration.
That does not surprise me at all that you would collect those boxes.
I have one with Mary Lou Retton on it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That'll be a collector's item. Do you keep them in like a case?
No, I just like cut off the tops and put magazines in them.
God, you're like ripping your tags off your Beanie Babies like it's nothing.
I know.
Okay, so Wheaties was struggling in its early years. It was looking, as I wrote, bleak for the wheat. And because I like to have fun.
Should have called it Bleedies. Yeah, you do have fun. Bleakies.
So
the millennial cereal Bleakies.
Bleakies. That's good. Again, merch. That's merch, baby. Okay.
That's merch.
So the leadership at the Minnesota Washburn Crosby Company was like, Wheaties, we're done with it. It's not working. Let's give it up. But the VP, Donald Davis, wanted to, quote, find out what that radio station of ours is good for, meaning the local radio station. So he called the station's PR man, who wrote words to a melody borrowed from a 1919 hit record called Jazz Baby. So then they hired a local barbershop quartet, and this was led by a man who I feel that I have to mention was a mortician by day.
Beautiful.
Barbershop quartetter by night. The other members were a court bailiff, a printer, and a businessman. And if this isn't
good
fodder for a musical, I don't know what is. Yeah.
Also, Wheaties a musical. Also, much like Kirsten Dunst in Drop Dead Gorgeous, he can practice his barbershop quartets while he does his job.
I'm so lucky where I have a job where I can practice my talent.
I love her with all my heart.
Protect her.
And that's why you don't fuck with Minnesota.
No, you do not fuck with Minnesota. Okay, so the jingle was recorded and first broadcast on Christmas Eve in 1926. Shall we hear it, Sarah?
We sure as heck will.
All righty.
Oh, this is exciting.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all of the bran.
I knew you would.
Won't you
It's beautiful.
try Wheaties? For wheat is the best food.
Chelsey, I have to get some Wheaties.
They're crispy and crunchy the whole year through. The kiddies never tire of them, and neither will you. So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land.
Great job, boys.
Why did that make me so happy?
It's a beautiful thing. I think you know what it is. It's so
beautiful.
It's the quartet, I think. It's the harmonies. It really gets to you.
It certainly is. I really am a sucker for a harmony.
Well, the jingle hit the airwaves, but it was only in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area.
Oh my God, it was beautiful.
Right? Our favorite area of the country right now.
Our favorite area of the country.
I'm obsessed with you guys.
And in general. But yeah, it's not to be underestimated.
No, absolutely not.
Especially because of how good people are at protecting themselves and each other when they are powered by good.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Okay, so they got the best jingle in the world, thank God.
And really the home of the first jingle as well. So add that to the roster of shit I love about them.
And where Tanya Harding landed her first triple axel in competition.
It's a holy land.
Yeah.
It's the promised land, in fact.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That's enough. We love you. Okay. So the quartet, because at this time in radio, there wasn't like the ability to reproduce something like that. So they were singing this live every day during this half-hour radio show.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They had to go down to the studio and perform the commercial.
Yeah.
Every single time. That's beautiful.
Every single time. So it was different every single time.
But also, I mean, I'm sure they weren't, getting paid a ton or anything, but like what a great, you're a mortician and you're practicing your talent. And then suddenly every day you're like, I got to get down to the radio station to sing the Wheaties song again.
Yeah, exactly. Leave mid-embalm to get down to the studio.
I love the Wheaties song. I want to listen to it 100 times.
Well, you can do that after we're done recording.
I love it so much. I will. Chelsey, thank you for bringing such great things into my life and all of our lives.
It is an honor, sir. Yeah. So a few years passed, and in 1929, the sale of Wheaties had dropped 50%, okay?
Oh, no. Well, things were tough or about to be.
They were, but hold on.
Uh-huh.
The General Mills board was considering discontinuing the cereal for good, but the company's head of marketing did a little research and was able to present an interesting finding. In the Minneapolis-St. Paul area where the jingle was being broadcast, a 60% increase had been observed in Wheaties sales.
Incredible.
Everywhere else it was dropping, but it was like rockin'.
Yeah.
Where this jingle was being played.
Because people were being pushed by the invisible angel wings of beautiful harmonies to go buy Wheaties.
Exactly. It was working. So the head of marketing concluded, quote, I believe that if the use of radio were extended to other territories, these figures would be duplicated and that Wheaties would not need to be dropped. The board was convinced, and General Mills launched a national campaign doing the same thing on different radio stations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the jingle became so popular that barbershop quartet actually got their very own radio show, which I couldn't really find anything about, but I did find mentions that it existed. So that's nice.
I'm sure it was incredible.
So much of radio is just like, we'll never have it because you couldn't record it.
Yeah. And you know what? So much of podcasts we're not going to have either because the servers that they live on are going to, no longer be paid for by whatever company goes defunct because they were never profitable. And we're going to lose a lot of this stuff too.
Isn't that crazy? I think about that a lot. And it's like, on one hand, it's really sad because I've spent, fucking 7 years of my life doing this. But on the other hand, it is really cool that at any moment, if I decided to, it could all disappear and no one would have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that wild?
It's kind of amazing.
And also, it's like, and if, I don't know, if that's a scary thought, it's like, work does biodegrade like that. And of course, archives are crucial. And there's so many people doing great archival work in ways that I think are important. But also it's like, I feel maybe for both of us that it's a relief to think that maybe one day the work itself will disappear and what will be left is whatever good we were able to do in people's lives through that. And that'll be the thing that continues.
I love that.
Yeah.
So Wheaties was pretty ahead of its time with this, but I imagine that there are like dozens of other companies that were doing this locally that are just now lost to time.
Like Tears and Rain, yeah, to quote Blade Runner.
Yeah, exactly. But the other thing that people were doing at this time was creating, and this has like become such a cliche at this point, but they were creating these shows around a product. So they were trying to find a way to create a program that had music and had entertainment like comedians or, plays or things like that, where they could also kind of drill into you in a way that was a little more subtle, like what their product was and why you should buy it. So the idea was to create goodwill. That was a word that came up a lot. So it was like, it's the same thing in podcasting now, where it's like the idea is like brought to you by this company. And then you're like, well, thank you for bringing me this thing that I like. And so that was kind of the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Popular shows with corporate sponsorship included the Lucky Strike Hour, and that was the tobacco company broadcasting jazz music.
Beautiful.
The Ever Ready Hour, that was the battery company, and they were sponsoring Broadway talent.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite of this little section, the Dixie Circus, which featured the Dixie Chorus and was sponsored by the Dixie Cup Company. This is really fun. I think you'll really like this. So in addition to these whole shows being called the product, essentially, they also started to name musical acts after the products themselves. So
I do like that.
I know. Our first example was the novelty vocal duo, Billy Jones and Ernie Hare, got their big radio break when they were sponsored by a chain of stores called Happiness Candy, which transformed them into the Happiness Boys.
Incredible. I wonder what happiness candy tastes like. Yeah.
How do you do, everybody? How do you do? How do you do, everybody? How are you? We are here, we must confess, just to bring you happiness. Hope we'll please you more or less. How do you do? How do you do? How do you do? How do you do? How do you do?
Cute.
How do you do?
Isn't that sweet?
I need to listen to more 20s music, I guess.
Definitely.
How do you do? Do-loo.
And you might notice that was If You're Happy and You Know It at the same tune.
Oh,
Clap your hands. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, although it felt like it was like If You're Happy and You Know It in kind of a minor key or something.
Which is a fun idea.
I don't know the right line, but like If You're Happy and You Know, no, it's probably the same. Anyway, yeah.
So 5 years later, in 1929, the Happiness Boys got a new gig and they transformed into the Interwoven Pair.
What?
Which was named for the product that they pushed, Interwoven Socks, which I love. The Interwoven Pair is pretty cute.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds a little codependent to me personally.
That's for sure. All right, shall we listen?
Enmeshed, if you will. Mm-hmm.
Let's listen to our Interwoven Boys. I mean, our Interwoven Pair, rather.
How do you do, everybody? How do you do? Gee, it's great to say hello to all of you.
Well, they might be lacking in originality.
We're the Interwoven Pair. How do you do?
So yeah, not the best, not the most creative, but I think it shows how musical acts themselves were kind of sponsored by these companies.
At the next massive seance, should we come out going, I am Chelsey, I am Sarah, and we do not want to scare you. How do you do? Do-loo-do-loo-do-loo-do-loo.
Put it in the notebook.
Standing ovation. Yeah.
Blue sky idea. So another fun example was this vaudevillian musician named Harry Frankel. He became known as the Lawnmower Man when his big break came, hosting a radio show sponsored by the Great States Lawnmower Company. He was later poached by Barbasol shaving cream.
It's brutal out there.
And he became Singin' Sam the Barbasol Man, which I think is fun. And the jingle that he made in the 1930s became the most popular commercial centered around a song at that time. So we've got Singin' Sam. You want to hear from him?
Absolutely.
All right.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Your old friend, Singin' Sam the Barbasol Man.
Barbasol, Barbasol, no brush, no lather, no rubbing.
Sounds like Edelweiss at first.
Good evening, folks. How y'all this evening? Yes, this is your old friend, Sam the Barbasol Man.
More like Talking Sam.
Out in
Yeah, no kidding.
The home of good old Barbasol.
So that was Singin' Sam the
Wow.
Barbasol Man. Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is what the Prairie Home Companion was trying to emulate a bit.
That makes sense to me, for sure.
Yeah.
So if we go back to the shows that were entirely sponsored by a brand, we can start to hear some things that really do resemble jingles, including some that we know today. So let's listen to the Jell-O program for a moment.
Heck yeah. One of my favorite products.
It starred Jack Benny, so it was like a comedy hour, and you will recognize this very famous jingle.
I mean, could you have a Jell-O mystery hour? I don't know.
That would be cool.
The Jell-O program brought to you by Jell-O and Jell-O Pudding, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The convenient way to buy Jell-O, ladies and gentlemen, is to get several packages at a time and use them as you want them. And with the new Jell-O, you can do this without any fear that your supply of Jell-O will lose flavor and freshness as it stands on the pantry shelf. You can now buy a dozen packages of Jell-O at one time and know that they will all
Thank
stay at
God.
the peak of their goodness until you want them. Because today, Jell-O's flavor is locked in. locked into the Jell-O particles by an exclusive Jell-O process. The tiny Jell-O particles.
Wow. Honey, it's an exclusive process.
Now prove it for yourself. Open a package of Jell-O. Notice that there's no telltale aroma, no sign of escaping fragrance and flavor. But the instant you dissolve the Jell-O,
you don't want
you
escaping
unlock the accepted
fragrance.
flavor.
Okay, so you get it.
Okay, yes.
We get it.
My name's Tonka Jahari, but I would never buy 12 boxes of Jell-O at one time.
No. I really took you for someone that would be into Jell-O molds. Am I right about that?
Chelsey, I have 4 Jell-O molds hanging up in my kitchen. Have you
maybe
been paying
maybe
attention?
I saw them and I just internalized it. But I mean, it makes sense.
I think so.
Yeah.
No, I'm
sense.
a Jell-O. I mean, I like eating Jell-O. Jell-O was like the first thing I learned to make for myself as a snack when I was a kid. It was like the first thing I could do independently that I thought of as cooking.
That makes sense.
I have always been very attached to Jell-O. Yeah.
That makes sense to me. More after this. And now back to the show. So our next example is really offensive in terms of racial caricature and could even be a little upsetting. So I just want to flag that for everyone real quick. But I guess we had to get there eventually in this American history of anything.
Inevitably. Yeah, seriously.
The Aunt Jemima program is a good example of the attempt to match the feeling of a product.
Yeah, what on earth were they up to with that?
No, it's not good. But it's a good example of this attempt that they were making to match the feeling of a product with a kind of production that added on to that feeling and gave people like a particular notion of what the product was. So,
and in this case, the feeling is like an hour of Mammy. Unfortunately.
Basically, yes. Shocker, right? So in the late 1920s, this executive at J. Walter Thompson wrote that, quote, Aunt Jemima should croon folk songs of the South. So where else would this company turn but to the art form known as minstrelsy?
Yeah.
The concept of the show became, quote, an ad that advertised by a troupe of darkies who sing and play for the white folks at Colonel Higby's plantation. So yeah, not good.
Wow. So they're really like, this is a product where the more we think about, thinking about how to translate the product into entertainment, it really should make you feel that you, the consumer, are at a plantation enslaving people.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You got it.
It's a lot of baggage to bring to pancakes for no reason at all.
But if we think about the 1920s, it was just such a weird time. It was like the second rise of the KKK, right. But it was also this time where like Black performers were actually breaking through. It's a very complicated time,
right? Which
is about to get more complicated. So the show featured, and they were like very proud of this when they, talked about it during the show, several actual Black concert singers. So they sang in a choir and they played throughout the show. This group.
I'm imagining someone being like, honey, at least if I'm on the radio, it's something.
Well, it was a really big deal for those singers, so it makes sense.
Well, I guess kind of the situation where like, as I imagine it, kind of looking at history, and the certainly is a pattern where like the only opportunity you have to attempt to advance out of, a cultural stereotype that's being used against you oppressively is to enter into the public eye first through that stereotype. Like that feels like a consistent thing.
Absolutely. And it's really obvious when you look at some of the first Black performers who performed in blackface. So they were Black actors with the full makeup, like they were in blackface. And that was like the way that there was enough acceptability for them to perform in that way. So it's really weird. It's a weird history.
Yeah.
So shockingly, Aunt Jemima, star of the show, was not played by a Black person, but rather an Italian-American vaudeville star named Tess Gardella.
So I'm sure at the time they're like, look, she is a minority. All right, leave us alone.
Yeah, she's Italian. Okay. We don't like them either.
Not that they were using the word minority, but yeah.
All right. Shall we listen to a bit of the Aunt Jemima show? We can't escape it.
Yeah, let's go through it.
Aunt Jemima!
Greetings, folks, greetings. This is your old friend, Aunt Jemima.
Let us in on the joke, Aunt Jemima.
It ain't no joke, Mr. Lyon. No, sir.
Well, why all the laughter?
Well, I just chuckling because I've been talking to the singers, and I asked them to let me sing with them.
And what did they say, Aunt Jemima?
They says I can have a tryout.
Well, fine. I'd like to try out, too, Aunt Jemima. Let's do it together.
That's a good idea, Mr. Lyon. Go ahead, start off.
Titillating, appetizing, taste
Wow.
inviting, tantalizing, Aunt Jemima.
The choir is doing like cartoon soul ascending to heaven music.
Mr. Lyon,
Yeah.
If you and me ain't such sweet singers, we sure is loud.
Yeah, and that has its advantages, too, Aunt Jemima. But I'd like to hear some real music now.
You can do just what you please. I was gonna pick off the master's piece. I was gonna pick off the master's piece, and then I won home.
Okay, so you get the picture.
Yeah. Well, look, it's nice singing. So there's that.
So you can kind of see how they are using a character, and that character is talking about the product while they're also using an actual group of entertainers. So it's mixing it all together into something that is ultimately selling a product, but is still giving people like the entertainment that they want. Right. All of this horrible racism aside.
Or included in a way, because it feels like, this is the time when this company knows that they're going to attract listeners by believing that this is an appealing premise. And apparently it worked well enough for some amount of time.
It worked really well. So once the show went on the air, first year went up 14%, the sales. Next year went up 30% from that, and then 35% from that.
Yeah.
I know. So the program lasted until the early 40s, if you can believe that.
God. Okay, great. Wonderful. Love it. Love this country.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it does. And just to what you're saying, it does feel like very revealing. And you talking about this being the decade of the emergence of the KKK, that it's not that we collectively forgot slavery. We just rebranded it as this fun thing that was a way to sell syrup, which is just,
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, this is Gone with the Wind is coming out during this period too. And this sort of collective reshaping into isn't it terrible that all ended, and let's feel nostalgic for it and derive sort of a sense of, I don't know, some kind of a sense of white identity from nostalgia about our inability to oppress people the way that we used to, which certainly remains a theme, but at least we now get to buy syrup without supporting that or something. So yeah.
Or something. Yep. If you want to learn more about Aunt Jemima, we did an episode called Influencers a long time ago, and we talk quite a bit about her and the whole history of that character.
You've talked. I think a person could get a pretty good grasp of American history by listening to the backlog of the show at this point.
And yours as well. Listen to both of them and you'll know it all, which Sarah and I don't because we forget it immediately.
That's true. Yeah. And then you can tell us what you've learned.
I need to go back and learn about Aunt Jemima because I don't remember shit. So, okay, by the late 30s, this goodwill approach that we're talking about, these programs.
Right. And where the product does begin to feel like merch for the show in a way, I would imagine,
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. But it did start to become really passé and old fashioned, and people kind of found it silly.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, time makes all things seem stupid.
Yeah.
So, would you read this parody article for us? It appeared in the Wall Street Journal in 1938 that was mocking this whole farce.
Would I ever? Okay.
This is specifically for you.
Thank you. So the Wall Street Journal writes, friends of the radio audience, the Aunt Sally Superior Horseradish Company, sponsoring this program for your enjoyment, does not believe that radio listeners want their concerts interrupted by long advertising announcements. Therefore, the makers of Aunt Sally Superior Horseradish will not delay this program more than a few moments. They appreciate the fact that you are more interested in the next number than in the excellent qualities of Aunt Sally Superior Horseradish. And since the beginning of its weekly broadcast, the Aunt Sally Superior Horseradish Company has felt that in giving you an hour of music, it is accomplishing more than by taking your time telling you about Aunt Sally Superior Horseradish. If you will listen closely, you will find that the Aunt Sally Superior Horseradish Company uses only 7 words in its radio advertising announcement. And those words are... Aunt Sally Superior Horseradish really is superior. The next selection by the Aunt Sally Superior Horseradish Company will be a selection of Victor Herbert favorites played for you by the Aunt Sally Superior Horseradish Orchestra.
Really good. Scathing.
I really love it. I love it. Yeah.
So in the 1930s, this thing called electrical transcription was invented. And basically what that meant was that recordings could be reproduced with much higher quality. And this meant that the ads could be recorded once and then sent all over the country to different radio stations. So they could just play as ads rather than this whole production around the product. So the first nationally broadcasted jingle was created in 1939 by everyone's second favorite soda brand, Pepsi.
Yay.
And I have to tell everyone this because I just learned it. When Pepsi was invented in the late 1800s, it was originally called Brad's Drink.
What?
Which is really bad.
Doesn't that sound like the name of like a river in Arkansas, you know?
Sure, yeah.
It's like, well, he fell right in Brad's drink and, you know, we all know we're not going to see him again.
Yep. Let's go to the swimming hole down at Brad's Drink. Yeah. So in an attempt to compete with Coca-Cola, who had obviously cornered the market by the 30s, Pepsi realized that they could address issues of the Great Depression by doubling the size of their drinks to 12 ounces, which was double the size of a Coke, right?
Oh my God. That's very clever.
It's really good. And like a good thing to do.
If only a clever company would think of that now. Yeah.
Yeah. So this jingle from 1939 became the first that was actually played at different radio stations at different times all across the country. So let's listen.
Wow, I'm so excited. Okay.
I know. It's a fun one. I really like it.
Pepsi Cola, it's the spot. 12 full ounces, that's a lot. Twice as much for a nickel, too. Pepsi Cola is a drink for you. Nickel, 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 nickel.
Yep. That's a good one.
That's hard to say. Nickel, 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 nickel. Okay.
It's really hard.
I'm sold. Get me a Pepsi.
Get me a Pepsi.
If Pepsis were twice as big as Cokes today, they would be doing a lot better. As it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Do not give me a Pepsi.
I know. Whenever I'm like at a restaurant and I'm like, can I get a Coke? And they're like, is Pepsi okay? And I'm like,
it's always, is Pepsi okay? Like they know, we all know what the interaction is. Like no one ever says, is Coke okay?
No, they never do.
Or maybe they do say that if you ask for Pepsi, but what kind of a person?
Who does it? I mean, I will say, as we'll see in part 2, Pepsi ads do win out for me over Coke ads. But other than that, that's all they got, I think.
Okay.
So what was cool about this is this jingle essentially became so popular as a piece of music outside of its advertising context that it was recorded in 55 languages, and the recordings were sent to more than 1 million US jukeboxes. And eventually, and I couldn't find much about this, but it was played at Carnegie Hall. It was beautiful. Like that. Beloved, I know.
Hopefully by a symphony orchestra, you know, we can hope.
And Sarah, this is where we're going to leave off for part 1 of our 2-part series.
So it's like if the jingle is a character, it is like emerged from very humble origins and now is known all over the world. And what will happen for the jingle next?
And we're going to find out next week on part 2. So think about your favorite jingles, folks. Pop them in the comments, I guess.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Exactly. Get yourself a
nickel.
I just can't do it.
I know, it's too hard. They make it sound easy.
Sarah, you're a doll. Thank you for being here. There's no one I'd rather talk jingles with, and I'm excited for next week.
Carrie. Oh my God. Chelsey.
Okay, great.
I combined our names. Sorry. Chelsey, you were a 12-ounce Coke. Mm-hmm.
You are a 24-ounce Pepsi, and that is too much sugar.
And that is equivalent. See you next time.
All right, Sarah. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
This was American Hysteria. Make sure you come back next week for part 2 of Jingles. And of course, make sure you subscribe to You're Wrong About wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to support American Hysteria and help make sure that we can continue making it, you can become a patron at patreon.com/American Hysteria, or you can subscribe on Apple Plus. Not only will you get ad-free episodes, but you'll also get bonus content, including the ongoing podcast, Hysteria Home Companion, that I make with our producer, Miranda, where we tell you stories related to the topics that we've covered, or stories that we know that you'll love. We have a very extensive back catalog of that show, so if you subscribe, you will have a ton of stuff at your fingertips to listen to right now. And that's not all, so go check it out and consider becoming a patron or Apple Plus subscriber. It's a really great way to help out the show. If you go to AmericanHysteria.com, you can also pick up some of our merch. 100% of the profits go to the Samir Project, which is a Palestinian-led mutual aid group who are on the ground in Gaza delivering food and supplies to those who need it. While you're there, you can also leave us a message on the Urban Legends hotline about a tale that you remember from growing up, or one you've heard recently, and we might do an entire investigation about it. American Hysteria's producer and editor is Miranda Zickler. Our associate producer and research assistant is Riley Swedelius Smith. This episode has additional editing by Kaylee Jasperson, and I'm your host, Chelsey Webersmith. Thanks, as always, for listening. And despite it all, I hope you have a great